Hi, I'm Amy Stasiewicz, and welcome to the Minutes. Thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you along on the Minutes for the week of March 16th. This is a City of Thunder Bay podcast. The Minutes looks at what happened at Thunder Bay City Council this past week. You can find the Minutes wherever you get your podcasts, including our YouTube channel and our website, thunderbay.ca/theminutes. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. This week, City Council met on Tuesday, March 17th to discuss key topics including an annual report on Council, Board, and Committee expenses in 2025 and a request to purchase a cargo van for the temporary shelter village. We'll break down the highlights from this meeting, and later I'll be joined by Krista Power, the City Clerk and Returning Officer for the 2026 Municipal Election, to chat all about the upcoming election. Like all council and standing committee meetings, the meeting began with a land acknowledgement. City Council meetings open with the national anthem, performed by a guest or local group. This week, a youth soloist from All the Days Productions performed. If you're interested in being one of the performers, you can find out more at thunderbay.ca. Okay, now on to the agenda. First up was the consent agenda items, which included minutes of previous council meetings, minutes of previous special committee of the whole meeting, finance and administration standing committee minutes, Northwood Ward meeting minutes, Thunder Bay District Social Services Administration Board minutes, Lakehead Region Conservation Authority minutes, the Mayor's Task Force on Building More Homes Advisory Committee minutes, 2 applications for cancellation, reduction, or refund of taxes, and finally a report on uncollectible accounts in 2025. Council then approved all the consent agenda items. Earlier in the evening was a lengthy closed session meeting. There were 3 items that arose from closed session. Closed session cannot make final decisions until the items are in open session. The first item involved appointing Paul Fitzpatrick to the T-Baytel Board of Directors for a 3-year term. The second item was a contract-related matter. The Commissioner of Community Services was requesting approval to receive funding and to be able to sign agreements. Finally, the third item from the closed session concerned the new art gallery. The art gallery is requesting that the City of Thunder Bay amend both the funding agreement and the lease to allow the weather-tight milestone deadline to be deferred from April 30th to August 31st, 2026. All items were approved by Council. Next were the reports of administration. This week's City Council meeting included 2 reports. First up, administration gave an annual report update on council, board, and committee expenses from 2025. The mayor and city councilors receive an annual compensation package that includes a salary, a vehicle allowance, and benefits such as health and dental coverage, along with participation in a pension plan. They may also receive additional honorariums from serving on boards such as the Thunder Bay Police Services Board. By law, any expenses incurred by members appointed by council to a committee or local board must be publicly disclosed. The information is publicly available on the City of Thunder Bay's website. A new business item, which is the second report from administration, was added last Friday. Administration is asking City Council to approve a new capital project, specifically to purchase a cargo van worth $70,000. This van would support the transportation needs of the new temporary shelter village. This purchase is fully funded through a federal grant, so this isn't coming out of local taxpayers' pockets. The money is coming from the Health Canada Emergency Treatment Fund. There is a formal step needed to create the project within the city's capital budget so the van can actually be purchased. Back in November 2024, the city applied for funding through the Emergency Treatment Fund and was awarded about $237,000. Then, in 2025, more funding became available. The city applied again and was successful, receiving an additional $401,100. Out of the total, $70,000 was specifically approved for a cargo van. The temporary shelter village is not located right next to key services like healthcare or social supports. That distance can be a real barrier for people trying to access help. This van would allow operators to transport residents to appointments, services, and other essential destinations. This kind of access will help people stay connected to care and improve overall outcomes. Because a cargo van is considered a tangible capital asset, it has to be included in the city's capital budget. But since this funding came in after the 2026 budget was already approved, Council needs to formally approve this new project. After brief discussion, Council approved the request. Near the end of the meeting, City Council then reviewed and approved a series of bylaws. The meeting was then adjourned. Okay, so that's it for City Council updates. Stay tuned next week for the Growth Standing Committee meeting recap. Soon, I'll be chatting with Krista Power, the City Clerk and Returning Officer for the 2026 Municipal Election, to discuss details about the upcoming election in October. If you haven't heard already, it's an election year. Elections for Ontario municipal governments are held every 4 years, and the next City of Thunder Bay election will be held on October 26, 2026. Joining me in the Minute studio is Krista Power, the City Clerk and Returning Officer for the Municipal Election, to chat about the election process, information on running for office, and how you can get involved. Hey, Krista, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, very exciting election year.
Yes, always exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so you recently hosted an elections information night, but for people who couldn't attend, I thought it might be helpful to share some of the information that you shared that night. So this might seem obvious, but maybe some people don't know. So who is eligible to vote in the upcoming election?
So you are eligible to vote on October 26th, 2026 in the City of Thunder Bay. If you live in the City of Thunder Bay and you are over the age of 18, all you need to be is a registered voter and not prohibited from voting.
Okay. And say someone is a student that is going to school here, and they rent in Thunder Bay. Can they vote?
They can vote.
Okay.
And we usually try to work with the university and the college to make sure that folks that are here in Thunder Bay can take a choice. Do they want to vote in their home municipality, especially if they have an online voting option, or do they want to vote here in Thunder Bay?
Okay, that's good to know. And how can someone get onto the voters list or find out if they even are on the voters list?
You can actually go right now. If you go to the Elections Ontario website, you can check and see if you're on the voters list. One of the biggest changes for 2026 is our elections list used to come from MPAC, the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. Now it actually comes from Elections Ontario. So it's the same list from the provincial elections to the municipal election. You can go check right now if you're on the voters list.
Okay.
And if you're turning 18, again, you can provide that information and make sure that it's going to be updated, that as of your birthday's in September, happy birthday. We can't wait to see you on October 26th.
Okay, amazing. And in the past, what has the voter turnout been like in Thunder Bay?
So our voter turnout in Thunder Bay generally has been very strong. We're one of the only municipalities consistently up until 2022 of having more than 50% of the population vote. Almost 51% of our population voted in 2018. We were really hoping for similar turnout in 2022. Unfortunately, we did have a drop. It was 43% in 2022. That being said, it was 8% higher than the provincial average. So still stronger than our municipal counterparts, but we would love always to see more than even 50% of the population vote for the individuals that are making decisions that affect your community, the services that are provided to you as a either property owner or renter here in the City of Thunder Bay.
Right. And especially those younger people, we want to get them out.
Absolutely.
Well, everyone, obviously, but...
Yes. And I will say that 18 to 30 is often our lowest number, our lowest demographic of people who vote. So we will be focusing quite strongly in our planning to encourage those between 18 and 30 to come to polling stations, to vote online, to get involved in the process.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So this might be a really loaded question, but why is it important for people to vote?
Well, I think it's important for people to vote because this is your community. This is your city. I often, use the term that you will interact with a municipal service every day. When you turn on your water, decisions are made about your water and the quality of your water by our city council. When you register your child for swimming lessons, or if the swimming lessons aren't available, again, decisions made by city council on service levels. When you put your garbage outside, when it's picked up, all of those decisions are made by municipal council. So if people want to be engaged in the process and want to show that they care about their community, we want them to show up by saying, I registered, I put my ballot forward, and I picked the people who can best represent my views, my opinion, to make sure that that moves forward to government.
Yeah. Yes. So we heard it here. Vote.
You'll hear that a lot from me. Get ready to get tired of me.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's a good thing. So when can people expect to get their voter's card in the mail?
So we'll be promoting that in advance of the voter information letters going out, and that's usually in September. Folks usually get their letter about 3 weeks prior to the advance polls starting. We do always have advance polling opportunities as well as election day opportunities. There will be a ton of promotion about that come the fall. The other thing that we'll promote in advance of that is what we call revision days. So if you are new to Thunder Bay and you're not on our voters list, again, you can go to the portal, but we'll also have pop-ups across the city where you can come and chat with us, get a little bit of election swag, and then also make sure that you're on the voters list, that your school support is registered as you would like it to be, and be able to ensure that you're ready for voting day, whether that be advance vote or on the actual day of the election.
Okay. And you mentioned something about online voting. And also I have a question. If someone, say, is out of town on vacation or something, or working out of town on October 26th, how do they go about voting?
So the only thing they need to do is they need to make sure the information in their voter information letter is correct prior to leaving the city of Thunder Bay. And then they can vote anywhere. That's one of the great things about online voting, is that you could be in another city, in another country on voting day or in advance and register your vote that way, and not be at a city poll. So there's always the opportunity for in-person people to come forward and register their ballot by paper in person. But the online opportunity is really convenient for people who may be traveling or just don't want to take the time out of their day to come to a polling station. They'd rather take that 10 minutes and do their vote online.
Right. Okay. It's great to have those options. Okay. So let's switch gears a bit and talk about candidate information. So who can run for office here in Thunder Bay?
So you have to be a Canadian citizen. You have to be over 18 and again, be an eligible elector, meaning you're not prohibited from voting. And there are certain reasons why folks may be prohibited from voting. If there are questions about that, we're happy to answer them. So anyone can come forward and put their name on a ballot if they meet that criteria. And we'd encourage people to. Again, this is the government that's closest to the people. So we'd encourage people to learn about what it means to run. In the election information night, we talked about resources that were available to go talk to either a previous member of council, a current sitting member of council. There's some great workshops offered right now by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario that are free. There's a ton of information on our website, or you can call our office as well, or attend the upcoming candidate information session.
Okay. And can you just tell, when is that upcoming?
So the candidate information session is on April the 16th. It's at 6:30 p.m. and it's here at City Hall, 500 Donald Street. We'll also be live streaming it, so it'll be available on our website, and we will have a recording of it. So if you're busy on the 16th and you can't attend, you can go back and watch that at a later point. We are doing that session with our partners at the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. They are going to cover the financial components of running an election campaign and what that looks like, because there's lots of detail there that candidates need to know, and we want to make sure they have as much information as possible to help them through the process.
Right. Okay. And how many elected positions will there be this fall?
So in addition to the school boards, and those numbers are determined by those boards, we have 13 members of council. So our mayor, our 5 members elected at large, and then our 7 ward councillors, 1 per ward. All of that information is up on our website. You can see the ward map. You do not need to live in the ward to run in that ward. And again, encourage people to look at what position may suit them best. And the nomination day is May 1st is when we'll begin that process.
Okay, so you kind of answered my questions. I was going to say, when do nominations open up and when do they close?
So nomination period is from May the 1st until August the 21st at 2 p.m. And that time and date is legislated. It's not a decision of my office. So we will close the nomination period at 2 p.m. on August 21st. So you have that period between May and the end of August to come forward, submit your nomination package, pay your fee to run as a candidate. And then we will have to certify all of the nominations, and the nomination period will be concluded, and then the election period will technically begin.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, what's the process after nominations? Like, when can people start campaigning?
They can really start campaigning as soon as their nomination is accepted and their fee is paid. If there's an issue with their nomination, we'll work with them to try to address that. It's never my goal to disqualify anyone who wants to run for office. So we'll try to ensure that they have everything that they need. And we only disqualify candidates that are ineligible and there's no solution available to them.
Okay. So things could be happening pretty soon. I know it's March, but
it's not that far away.
I know, that's wild. All right. And of course, elections take a lot of hands to make it all run smoothly. If someone is interested in working during the elections, what type of positions would be available?
So one of the great things about our election information night was we had lots of folks come out from the public, and it was lovely to meet people who were interested in working our election. So there are paid positions available for advanced voting and for voting day. Everything from a deputy returning officer in a polling station to a information officer, like a greeter welcoming folks, and then also computer operators as well to take people off the voting list. So all of those options are available. If folks are interested, they can contact our office, and the information is readily available on our website as well, that they can contact us. And then there is training that is required.
Right.
So we're certainly not going to, welcome people to come and work. There's training that's available generally about the election, and then also required for the position that you will be responsible for. Again, whether it be a computer operator or a deputy returning officer.
Okay. And when will these postings be out in the public?
We'll share information in the coming months. Again, we're looking to assemble that team from some internal staff. We do give city staff an opportunity to work the election. It's a great opportunity for people to see how election processes work. But we welcome a ton of people from the public. We need a lot of hands. You're absolutely right to make sure those polls run smoothly. So information is available now, and folks can contact our elections coordinator, send us some information. We'll put them on the mailing list and then send them all of the applications once they're ready.
Okay. And I do have a general question. So come September, there won't be city council or standing committee meetings, right? And can you just explain a bit about that?
Yes. So our last city council meeting is September the 15th, and then we take a break until after the election has concluded. Now, city council is still in power. Should they need to make a decision, they can stand up an emergency meeting for any urgent purpose, but they won't meet again as council until November 15th. So there is a period in there where we take a break from the election process. That's twofold. The first is to ensure that everyone has equal opportunity to run their campaign, whether it's a member running for re-election or someone running from the public who's not sitting as council. It shouldn't be seen as an advantage to be currently sitting. As a member of council, we need to make sure that playing field is equal for all. Yeah. The other is that this is a significant project and mostly conducted by my office. So we only have so many bodies. So supporting meetings of council at the same time as the election is a challenge.
Yes, for sure. I can't really even imagine how busy it's going to be, but I guess I'll see.
It's a lot of fun. We will take that every day as it comes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and is there anything else you want to chat about that maybe we didn't cover today?
Well, we did kind of cover it, Amy, but I will still reaffirm my love and appreciation for all things voting and the importance of people being part of community and standing up for Thunder Bay to say this is my city, and therefore I'm either going to put my name on a ballot or I'm going to register my vote, or both. So really just want people to feel included in the process. If there are questions that you have, we are always willing to answer them. If you see election staff out in the public in the coming months, stop, ask us a question. We'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, we'd love to receive that as well.
Okay, great. Yes. Okay, so thanks to you and your team for all the work you do for the city. And of course, thanks for coming to chat with me today.
Wonderful. Thank you.
for this week's episode of The Minutes. A big thank you to Krista Power, the City Clerk and Returning Officer for the 2026 Municipal Election, for joining us. And as always, thanks for listening. If you want more information about City Council, agendas, or minutes, visit thunderbay.ca/council. You can catch The Minutes every week wherever you get your podcasts, on our YouTube channel or on our website at thunderbay.ca/theminutes. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. I'm Amy. Thanks again for listening to The Minutes, and have a great week.